Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. And in this one we're going to be talking about when you run into them after no contact. And yes, of course, I already know and I can understand that it may be quite an uncomfortable experience for you. And of course, the reason why I say that is because after everything that you've been through with them, all of the abuse, the manipulation, the deception, the discard, the devaluation, of course, all of these things are going to have an effect on you when you do run into them. It's going to be a very uncomfortable experience for you if it hasn't been already. And of course, I can understand that. And that is why I wanted to put out this video, to make you aware of it and what they're going to do, or to help you understand what they've already done. So yeah, that's why I had to get on here today to give you this message. And what will happen when you do run into them after no contact, as you can probably already guess, they will try to manipulate you. And that is the number one thing that they're going to do. And not only that, as I've said before, a narcissist, by default, all they can do is manipulate you. There's nothing else that they can do. The best you will ever get from them is an illusion. You will never get anything real. And you will already know that if you ever had a conversation with a narcissist, I'm sure you have, you will know that it's just full of manipulation, lies and deception, possibly even some future faking as well. And that's really all it is. That's all you ever get from them. But yes, when you run into them after no contact, they will try to manipulate you. That's a guarantee. And that doesn't always mean that they will try to have a conversation with you. It may also mean that they may just treat you with contempt, as though you're worthless or beneath their consideration. And they may do that in the way where they are playing the victim, as though you're meant to have done something to them. Or another thing they might do is as though they are preying on you and just telling themselves all of these things about you in their head so that they can feel more comfortable around you. Because remember, they are very insecure and they do have low self-esteem. And of course, that has to go somewhere. They have to project it onto you. And they will continue to do that even after no contact, after the discard, when you run into them again. And the reason why they will do that is because they've assigned that role to you. And that's just how it goes with narcissists. Once they assign that role to you, that's it for life. They will always expect you to identify as this person who they deem to be less than desirable in how they perceive it. So, but then that can change as well sometimes. They can re-idealize you and begin to see you as being perfect again. They'll put you on this pedestal just so they can knock you off again. And yes, when they do that, it is only a matter of time until they devalue you again. It is only a matter of time until they do that. And I don't want to get too deep into that because that is quite a complex topic, something that needs a video on its own, but it's pretty much to do with the emotional underdevelopment, where they're stuck at the age of, some of them maybe 2 or 3 years old, where they see things in black and white. So something is either perfect or flawed, good or bad, right or wrong. And yes, when they re-idealize you, they may see you as perfect in the beginning, but then, as we know, it's only a matter of time until you become completely flawed. So Yes, don't be gullible, don't be foolish, don't fall for that. Because as I said, they may try to manipulate you and pull you back in with lies and deception, future faking. They may try to make you believe that this time they're about it for real and you're on the same page, you share the same likes and interests, dreams, ideals, all of this. And then it's only a matter of time until they start devaluing you again. Yes, it's only a matter of time until they do that. And of course, we all know the reason why. It's because they have to project this impossible standard and expectation for themselves onto you. Yes, that is why they do that, as we all know. They have to project their own insecurities and self-hatred onto you. So that is what they're always going to do, and that is why the love bombing phase is always followed by the devaluation. Yes, that is why it's always followed by that. So this is to remind you and also to make you aware that, yes, when you run into them after no contact, it's always just another trap. And that's all it's ever going to be. They're just going to bait you in, and then they're going to switch it up on you. And then you're going to be the one who feels like a fool. It's only ever going to end like that. It's never going to be anything different. It's never going to be how you want it to be. And I have to drill this into you. I need to ride this home to you so that you know it is never going to be anything different or how you want it to be. And yes, I know you have this, maybe this illusion in your mind that they fed to you. They made you believe that, no, things can be different. You give them another chance, they can change, they can be better. No, they can't. It's maladaptive. They cannot change, adapt, or adjust. And if one of you, maybe you're involved with someone and they do change, I can guarantee it's only a matter of time until they change right back. As Dr. Ramani said, this disorder, it's like an elastic band. It stretches, so it may seem as though there's some room for short-term change, but then it snaps right back to its original position. And that's how it's always going to be. You can't change that. And if it seems like you can, if it does remain consistent over a long period of time, that just means you weren't dealing with a narcissist. Because if you were, it will prove itself over time. It will remain consistent, the dysfunctional behavior. It will never change. And I can promise you that. Yes, I know, I understand in the past, in some of my videos, maybe I remained a bit hopeful. I will admit that at times I even questioned if I was the narcissist. Because I guess in my past I could recognize some narcissistic traits, as I mentioned before. And then I started to make a lot of healthy changes in my life. So then I started to look at it like, maybe these narcissists can change. But no, they can't. And that is a fact. Anyone who says anything different, it's wrong. Narcissistic personality disorder will never change. And not just that, but that also goes for highly toxic people, people who are highly narcissistic, and maybe even some other cluster B disorders as well. They are never going to change. So take away your hope, take away your expectation. And if you ever have any doubts, you just need to watch my videos again until it drills inside your mind. Because I need you to understand that. Especially when you run into them after no contact. because you are just setting yourself up for more problems, because that's all they're going to do. It's just going to cause more problems for you. And you need to look back and realize that you've had enough. You've had enough to deal with already. You don't want more weight on your shoulders. So you need to let it go. You need to remember everything you went through, everything you put up with. Do you really want to go through that again? Because guess what? The second time is going to be a lot worse. It will only get worse the longer that you're with them. And sadly, unfortunately, on average, a typical victim of narcissistic abuse, they may break up with a narcissist about 7 times, and then it's finally over. So think about that. Do you really want to go for it 7 times? Do you really want to do that again? And that is why I need you to know that. I need you to be aware of this, that it cannot change. All you're ever going to get is manipulation, lies, deception, future faking, all of that. And even if you do take them back and give them another chance, you're just going to get denial, projection, blame shifting, gaslighting. You're going to go through it all over again. And then in the end, they're just going to discard you. And then you're going to end up feeling rejected. And you're going to have a lot of regret. You're going to wish that you didn't give them another chance. And that is why I have to put this message out there. That is why I have to make you aware of this. Because once you have the awareness, you are able to change what could otherwise be your future. And I don't want you to go through that again. So that's why I have to share this message with you. And yeah, it's really just to inform you and to make you aware and to protect you. And I want you to continue along your healing journey. Continue watching the videos, self-reflecting and going within yourself, doing things that you are passionate about, doing things that you are interested in. Like me right now, I'm just out here having a walk, looking at this amazing view here of the city. It's very healing for me. And it's also very healing for me to talk to you and to help you. That heals me too. But as you can probably tell, I am pretty much already fully healed as it is. But I mean, no one's ever completely healed. This is something, it's an ongoing process. It's like going to the gym. You're never completely done with it. You have to keep going. You have to motivate yourself, discipline. And that's where I come in, because I'm here for you on that as well. I'm always here for your motivation, for your inspiration, to uplift you, to give you what you need. And I know that it is my duty to do that. It is my mission in life, which is why I have to get on this every day, to put out this message, to make you aware, to make sure that life continues to get better for you, because that is what I really want. I want to see you heal, move on, and find someone that deserves you, because that's really what this is about. Someone who actually does deserve you. And as we all know, you do not deserve to be involved with a narcissist, a self-absorbed person who lacks empathy, and doesn't give a damn about what you're going through. That's not what we do on here. We all support each other, we love each other, we grow together, and we build as well. So yeah, that's the message for today. I'm just looking for the live chat here. Let me know if you do have any questions. I've got some time. I will answer your questions for you and give you a detailed response. So let me know your questions down below in the live chat. I will read them out right now. And while we're waiting for the questions, let's just admire this incredible view here of the city. Dean says, I saw my narc for the first time in 3 years. Just a couple of months ago, he just smirked at me and walked off. Yeah, they will do that. They will give you the old narcissistic smirk. And when they do that, you should already know what they're thinking in their heads. Remember, these people are very arrogant and delusional. They treat you with an air of superiority as though they're above you. And that's literally how they see you. When they see you after no contact, they're just thinking in their heads, whoop, there he goes. And they're laughing at you behind your back. They're thinking all of these weird things as though something is wrong with you. Because this goes back to the black-white mentality that they have due to their emotional and the development, where they see people as all good or all bad, right or wrong. And of course, for them to be good and right, you have to be bad and wrong. That's just how it is. But once you're aware of it, it can help you to detach from it and observe, not absorb, by realizing that it has nothing to do with you. It's more to do with this disorder, this lack of order and functionality within their brains. So it doesn't have to resonate with you. It's not something that you have to identify with. Louise, is there a first sign you are dealing with a narc? You know, that is actually a very difficult question to answer. It's quite complicated. And the reason why I say that is when you first get involved with someone, a lot of people on the first date, they could come across as being narcissistic. Because no one's going to be so deeply involved with you at the first meeting. And if they are, that should be a red flag. If someone's really coming around you and, you know, they're so fixated on you, so interested in you, that doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't seem healthy. That tells me that they are deficient in something. There's something that they are missing and they are trying to get it from you without thinking about you, without trying to understand you or what you want. But even if they do try to understand that, it's only so they can get what they want from you, which means that it's fake. Real things take time. Real things are not just something that happen overnight. So, yes, keep that in mind. And Teresa, made of wood, asks, how do you manage Stonewall with them if you have kids together? Again, that is a very good question. And of course, it can be very difficult to completely cut communication with someone if you have kids with them. It can be very difficult for you to do that in that type of situation, which is why what you need to do is involve lawyers and the courts. But even then, I will admit that narcissists, they are very good in the courts. They are very good at manipulating lawyers and judges. So, as I said, you know, it is a good question. It's quite a difficult one to answer. But ideally, yes, that is what you should do, is use the court system But as I said, sometimes it can work against you. So be very careful with that. Bridget Jones, hello, good morning to you. Ma'am, yes, ma'am, says, how long will they hoover? I've gotten consistent voicemails for 1.5 years and I haven't responded to any. It really depends on the type of narcissist that you were dealing with. I mean, to be blunt and honest, some narcissists, they really have no life. They have nothing going on. They have no other options. They've just got no purpose whatsoever other than to hoover you, other than to give you consistent voicemails for 1.5 years, as you said. So, of course, these types of narcissists, they're never going to leave you alone because they've got nothing else to do anyway. And it's as simple as that. Because obviously, if you are dealing with someone who has a lot of things going on in their lives, let's say they have a job or a business, things that are important to them, maybe they have a family, friends, whatever it is, they've got a mission, a purpose, they've got all of these things, they're not even going to notice you. They won't even see your emails or whatever it is you're sending, and they're not going to have any time to give you voicemails. They're not going to have any time to do that because they're going to be too distracted by their mission, their purpose, what they've got going on in their lives to even notice you. So, of course, what you're talking about here, you're describing a narcissist who has no life. They're very desperate and needy. And I'm sure you will recognize these traits in them if they're not leaving you alone. And these are really the worst type of narcissist to deal with. They can be very dangerous because they will do anything to get your attention, to get a reaction out of you. They will do anything to do that. Because if they don't get it from you, where are they going to get it? They can't get it from anywhere else. So of course they're not going to leave you alone. So I hope that is helpful, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And yeah, it could go on for the rest of your life. And I've heard in some cases it does. One of my clients says they were stalked and harassed since the 1980s. So of course that is a very long time. That's about 50 years. So some of these narcissists, of course, they never let go. Just looking for the live chat here. Count your blessings, yes. He or she says it's been years and I still get Hoover just this week. Yeah, you will. You know, these types of narcissists are not going to leave you alone. I mean, even I myself, I can tell you in my own experience, it's usually from certain clients that I've had, although I can't name names. I've had one person who has been sending me emails, maybe 10 emails a day, every day for the last 4 years. And I just saw them again the other day. Somehow they made their way out of my spam folder. So I had to make sure they were back in there again. And on top of that, I've had some clients, they've taken flights from the US to London and then booked a session with me. Told me they're in the UK or they're in Starbucks. So yes, I know what it's like. You know, I've been through it myself, and it is a very uncomfortable experience. It really is, when someone is invading your personal space and all you want is just to be left alone. Yes, I know what that's like. And very sorry that you have to go through that. But all you can do really is just try and cut contact with them, maybe change your phone number, your social media, to prevent them from gaining access to you. JS says, I wouldn't put up with them. I would politely walk out. They're crazy. Yeah, that's really the best thing to do in these types of situations. When you see them after no contact, you just have to stay silent and walk away from them. But even then, that may give them supply. They may think that they've gotten to you. You never know what they're telling themselves in their minds. Anything you do, any kind of action or movement in their minds, they think, oh, it's because of me. I caused them to do that. That's how a narcissist thinks. So, yes, they will think like that, but you've got to do it for you. You've got to do what you think will protect yourself at all costs. Andrea Douglas says, good morning. I do believe the narcissistic guy I was involved with knows I'm serious about not ever going back. Your channel is helping me. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, Andrea. Good morning to you as well. And yes, that's how it should be, is that you should make it clear to them that you want nothing to do with them. Because as I've said, these people, they can be very delusional. It's like no matter what you do, they can always change it in their minds to make themselves believe that maybe you do want them around. And that is why they just don't leave you alone. That is why they do that. So you do need to make it as clear as possible, even if it is just by completely ignoring them and walking away. But yeah, I hope these answers to your questions were helpful. Hope it resonated with you. Just sending these good vibes out to you. And yeah, I hope it uplifts you. Because of course that is what it's intended to do. It's intended to inspire and motivate you and move you into a healthier direction. Because as we know, dealing with these types of people, it's no fun. It's no good for you. And that is really the worst combination. On top of that, I mean, not just something that's unhealthy, but something that's also no fun as well. I mean, that's like a double blow. Because of course, sometimes we may weigh the risk and reward of doing certain things. And while we may know in the back of our minds, yes, this may be unhealthy, may not be good for me, but it does bring me some type of pleasure as well. So we can justify it in that way, and then we can participate and enjoy it. We can find pleasure and gratification in doing that. But with narcissists, no, you don't even get that. With narcissists, it is, I've said it before, narcissists are boring. They're so predictable. It's just the same thing again and again, and it's like it never ends. You're waiting for it to end, but it just keeps going, and you're just wondering when it's going to stop. So yeah, it is a real issue, because it's the way that they pull you in, and they make you believe they're about something. They give you these lies and these deception, these manipulations, to make you think that they are on the same page and they share your ideals and interests, when in reality, no, they don't. And in fact, a lot of them, they're not even on the same page as you. They're trying to understand and study you, learn you, to see where you're coming from and to see what brings you pleasure. But they're not interested in any of that. They don't even care about it. They're just doing it for you. And that's really the worst part about it, when you realize that you're alone. And when you're in a relationship with someone, you want company. You want to feel like you're sharing an experience with someone. But I know a lot of you're in these relationships and you feel more alone than if you were actually alone. And for me, in my experience, that's the worst part about it, is you think of it like, I may as well be alone, because I feel so lonely. It's like they don't even care about me. They're not even interested in me. And it just makes you feel so small. I know how that feels. I felt that way before. And yeah, it's not nice when you feel lonely and you're meant to be in a relationship with someone who's supposed to love and care for you. It's not nice to go through that. And the reason why you're in that is because, quite honestly, you don't value yourself enough. Because if you valued yourself, you would already be planning your escape out of it. That's what you would be doing. And even if you did run into them after no contact, you would just be thinking about, how the hell am I going to get away from this person? That's what you'll be thinking in your mind. If you are a healthy person like myself, you would just be wanting to run away. Although that may not always be the healthiest thing to do, the physical act of running away, because of course you need to have some self-control and discipline. You need to be able to manage your emotions in different environments. But it's constantly on your mind, where you're thinking, I've got to get myself out of this situation, because this is not my kind of scene. And that's good if you are thinking that way. When you're with them, when you're around them. I can tell you from my own experience, when I communicate with narcissistic, toxic people, when I'm forced to communicate them over the phone or through text, I feel physically sick in my stomach. And it's a very intense feeling and emotion. And when you feel that, that means you've already healed. That means that you are a healthy person. So just keep that in mind. But I know that many of you are still at the beginning of your healing journey. And that's okay. Yes, it is a process. It does take time. And we all understand that. So take your time along your journey. You will get there eventually with a therapist support or my support. however you would like it to be. As you know, I'm partnered with BetterHelp, and you can arrange some sessions with them and get a discount as well if you go to the link betterhelp.com/narcsurvivor. Or if you'd like to speak to me one-on-one, you can book that on my website, which is narcsurvivor.co.uk. So yeah, there's some resources there for you. If you are beginning your healing journey, it will be very good for you, and it will help you to move forward, which is what I want you all to do. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. And as always, you can give it a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed it. Helps to spread the message to other survivors of narcissistic abuse. Other than that, I'd just like to thank you all, and I will talk to you in another video very soon.